Welcome into this Monday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio here today. The baseball postseason, or at least the SEC tournament here, as Ole Miss heads to Hoover today to practice at the Hoover Met. I think it's the Hoover Met again. It was like Regions Park for a little while, but once they did the stadium downtown, it's flipped back to the Hoover Met this afternoon, and they will play the Vanderbilt Commodores tomorrow around 4:30 if the weather will cooperate, but it looks horrid the next few days in Hoover this week, so expect some delays. It's kind of an annual tradition there for the SEC tournament. So we'll talk about that today, the weekend, what it means for Ole Miss heading into the week, and plenty of other topics. Sports world pretty busy right now, so we'll get to that and more here coming up on the podcast. Podcast brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Remember, still got a few more days of barbecue month at all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi. Slab of ribs, full slab, $16.99. You can make it a family meal, add some sides and everything else for $19.99. Drumsticks as cheap as 79 cents, leg quarters and more. There again at the Oxford Exxon and all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi, and coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is completely up to you. You can shop that quote around, or you can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. Let's hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Guest will join on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. Great place to grab a burger, a po' boy, appetizers, great beer selection, full bar, and more there at Rafters on the Square in Oxford, and also Rafters in New Albany.
So Ole Miss falling 2 out of 3 to Texas A&M over the weekend, losing the middle game, and not overly competitive, frankly, in the other two in some different ways as they finished the season 32-21, I believe. They were 3 games short of the normal schedule. They had a couple of rainouts in that game against Arkansas State to save RPI purposes. Their RPI this morning, I had it up a minute ago, it is somewhere around 38, 39, 36. It is 36 as of right now. So Ole Miss heading to Hoover, clearly on the bubble for sure. That's the least of it. They at least get in the conversation. They win, I guess, 7 of their last 9 to jump back into a talk about whether they can get into the postseason. They're going to start doing DeLucia against Vanderbilt tomorrow. Vanderbilt had held out Carter Holton from the weekend after he threw a complete game shutout against Arkansas 2 weeks ago. To rest him. He didn't feel very good. He didn't throw against LSU. I haven't seen this, but my guess would be he would throw against DeLucia tomorrow for the Commodores, but it's merely a guess at this point. I have no idea. So 4:30 for that one. And we'll get into kind of go back a little bit, go forward, but I see you've got the headline there. Do they have to win? It is pretty much a coin flip. Went through, looked at some stats, and SEC teams who have 14 wins at the end of the SEC tournament. That has happened 13 times since 2003, and 6 of those teams have made the NCAA tournament. So just under 50% there at that point. If you win a 15th game, it's 11 out of 16 have made the tournament. However, it's 11 out of 11 if your RPI is better than 50. All 5 teams who have not done it with that 15th win has made the NCAA tournament as long as their RPI was in any manageable level. Ole Miss's RPI, no matter what, will be in the 40s at worst. It will not fall past that.
So it's your gut feeling that tomorrow is do or die. And then after that, none of it matters.
My gut is they have to win. Now, could they sneak in as a 3 without winning? Sure. But at that point, it's not even about Ole Miss's resume. It is about how many bids are stolen around the country and how many at-large spots are remaining. We talk about that more with the NCAA basketball tournament. You can steal bids, you can do all these different things. Frankly, because most of the time, the better teams that are in, especially in power conferences, are winning their leagues. So it could go either way. You should watch if they lose tomorrow, still watch the selection show next Monday. But some early indications I had gotten, some different things, was that Ole Miss really needs to win a baseball game tomorrow. Yes, that is my that is my educated guess. People continue to say, yeah, but the Governor's Cup counts, and it does. But 15 and 16 is not the same as 15 and 15. It counts. It's an SEC. When the incident, what I mean when I say it counts, because I do think this is important, because I think I'm confusing people, and I think people are thinking that it's just an extra win, like if you won one more league game. And their team sheet, when the committee gets it, is going to say Ole Miss is 15-16 in SEC games. That is the way that it counts. However, everybody knows that 15th win is the Governor's Cup against Mississippi State, not that they went 15-15 in league play. So when I'm comparing them, I have no way to compare that extra SEC wins to other teams because, frankly, Alabama and Auburn are the only two other teams that get that opportunity. So you can't take a team that gets 31 league games and, frankly, that fourth game against a team that finished with about the 100th RPI and go, well, that's the same as this. So it counts, but it doesn't work into the metrics that we're trying to explain right now. So I'm just removing it for the sake of the metrics is kind of the point. But, look, Ole Miss has helped itself a ton. It got helped a ton by LSU sweeping Vanderbilt over the weekend. That really boosted some of their 25-50 numbers with LSU beating up the Commodores over the weekend. Their resume's okay. Their resume's not bad. It's okay. That Alabama series is just popping them in the teeth over and over and over and over again. If they don't get in, it will be that and non-conference scheduling for why they didn't get in. But the top 50 numbers are better. The top 25 numbers are better. I think they have a really good case, and frankly, they'll have a better resume than some teams that don't get in if they don't get in. But for an SEC team, the standard has been completely set. I was talking to somebody pretty high up in college baseball yesterday who said, look, the baseball selection committee, more than any other sport, they follow routine. You know what they're going to factor in. You know what their expectations are for every conference, and that's just the way it is. And there is a certain minimum that has to be met, and Ole Miss is just above the baseline of that minimum, but it could go completely either way. If they win tomorrow, if they beat Vanderbilt, they are in. It is over. There is nothing else to consider from that point, and they cannot get into a host situation, so Hoover becomes utterly meaningless following a win tomorrow. But tomorrow's game very well could be a must-win for Ole Miss to make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. That's what I think.
I mean, again, they could sneak in. So if they get in next Monday, they'll go, hey, you said – no, I mean, it's right there. It's one way or the other, but you're trying to make sure ECU wins the American, and you're trying to make sure of this. And, I mean, it's –
if they beat Vanderbilt, they're going to play Tennessee. You have RPIs in front of you. Vanderbilt's RPIs in the teens, I think.
Yeah. Somebody says they need to win two. No, they don't. They need to win one.
Just one.
They do not need to win two games.
Nope.
One is completely enough.
I get people hate when people say this, but if they win Tuesday, the rest of the tournament, from an Ole Miss perspective, is utterly and completely meaningless other than the pursuit of a trophy.
I mean, it just –
You're not going to host.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's RPI is 5.
So you play 5, Tennessee's 1?
Tennessee's 1.
And then who are the other teams on their side that they could play? It's Kentucky, Auburn.
Is it? I don't even know.
I don't know. I had it in front of me.
But, I mean, look, yeah, I mean, RPI games in general, the teams in the SEC. Look, there's tons of RPI chances here. Just in general in the SEC tournament. Tennessee 1, Georgia 12, Florida 24, Vanderbilt 5, Carolina 67, Kentucky 54, A&M 22, Arkansas 33. Arkansas is in deep shit from a hosting standpoint.
That's what I wrote. I don't know if you read in 10 Thoughts. It was one of my 2 hot takes. I don't think Arkansas.
Even at 18 and 12, they might need 2 wins in Hoover to host.
I don't think they're hosting.
No matter what.
I don't.
I mean, 33, my God. Why is it so bad?
Because their schedule wasn't particularly good.
Yeah, jeez.
I don't think they host. I think they're actually a team that Hoover is meaningless.
Arkansas 33, LSU 23, Auburn 7. They're in line for national seed. If I'm Auburn, I don't want to lose on Tuesday. No, I think Tuesday matters for Auburn.
I think the tournament as a whole means a little bit to Auburn. They need to have a decent showing.
Ole Miss 36, Alabama 48, and then State finishes its season at 104. The worst RPI in the league by a long shot. Missouri ended up finishing 56, actually.
If I'm Ole Miss, another thing I'm watching if I lose Tuesday, I want Alabama to lose too. I want them to get out.
So you're not dealing with
So they're
them?
not stealing your spot.
They'd have to get hot.
Yeah, they'd have to get hot. But
like really hot.
They'd have to win 3 probably.
Yeah, let me look at them again.
They've closed with a little bit of a
12 and 17. Yeah, RPI at 48.
If they won 3.
It would take 3.
Yeah, it takes 3. That'd get them to 15
They played
wins.
Georgia, which is very winnable. And they play their Arkansas or A&M. I was pulling the schedule up.
Yeah.
I mean,
for most of the teams, the tournament's pretty meaningless in terms of ramifications. I know everybody wants to win a trophy. I get it. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the ramifications of what happens to you if you do this or if you do that. There aren't too many teams.
Yeah, Ole Miss's bracket is Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky, LSU.
Yeah.
So RPI gifts everywhere except for Kentucky.
And even theirs is not so bad on a neutral site where it's
not
going to
hurting
hurt you.
Yeah. No, everything else helps you. I mean, Ole Miss, frankly, their RPI stays where it is or even bumps up a spot with a loss to Vanderbilt tomorrow. But that's not the important thing. They just need to win, however they can get it to this point.
I told you yesterday what I would do if I were them tomorrow. I would go with DeLucia, but the moment he looked tired or in trouble, I'd hand the ball to Brandon Johnson and say, how far can you take me? And if that meant that he were not available the rest of the week, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
If I'm Mike Bianco,
you're DeLucia to Johnson and then figure it out.
If I'm Mike Bianco tomorrow, I am managing one game. I'm not managing a tournament. I'm managing one game. And then I don't care what happens after that. If I get beat on Wednesday and Thursday and we head home on Thursday, I'm cool with it. We did our job. Yeah. We're a 2 somewhere, and we'll go get ready for it. I go ahead and I use him. I don't try to find a non-existent bridge. I go straight to him, and if he can only get me through 7, I figure it out from there, and I hope that maybe I've built a lead by then. But I go with DeLucia until he's flat, and then I go straight to my closer. And I give myself a chance, and I hope that the guys on the other side – this Corbin doesn't have a lot to play for here.
I think they're in either way. Even at 14 and 17, it's not pretty, but with that RPI of 5,
they're in.
I mean, they're in.
They're in. But they're not hosting. There's nothing they can do to host.
Probably not.
So
they're the inverse of Arkansas, though. If you told me Vanderbilt ran till Saturday,
maybe.
You're 18 and 16.
My guess is that the committee already knows where Vanderbilt's going as a 2. And it's already on the board.
Louisville or Oklahoma City, come on down. Or Stillwater, come on.
Yeah, they know where they're going. So that would be my hope if I'm Mike. That he's not going to – he, on the other hand, is not going to hand the ball to his closer and go give me 5. He's just not. You have something to play for. You go win that game, and then on Wednesday –
well, because if look at the Holton kid's not 100% healthy, why in the hell would you throw him Tuesday? I mean, if he's got any issue from LSU.
You wouldn't. And to Corbin's credit, he's over his career. It's one of the reasons he recruits as well as he has. Is I think his reputation is that he errs on the cautious side.
So he skipped out on media Saturday. Just talk.
Yeah, I know.
It's not that important. Didn't change anything for you. Frankly, that one win didn't really do much either way. They got their head beat in all week. Gave up an 11-run 8th or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, kudos to LSU. They bounced back in a big way.
They are either the last host or the first host out going into Hoover. Frankly, they probably need to win a game. They need to go 0-2.
They have something to play for.
They do. Yeah, I think they absolutely need to win that game. Looking at here, just finishing for anybody who's curious. Tennessee finished 25-5 in the SEC, so they do not break the record. The record was 26-3, but good season there for the Vols, obviously. Georgia 15-15. My God, the rest of the East, which everybody had to play Tennessee.
The rest of the league.
Yeah, well, good point. Georgia 15-15, Florida 15-15, Vanderbilt 14-16, South Carolina 13-17, Kentucky 12-18, and Missouri 10-20. A&M 19-11, one game over Arkansas at 18-12, LSU 17-13, Auburn 16-13, Ole Miss 14-16, Bama 12-17, and State at 9-21 to close the SEC season. Yeah, it's even the teams with really gaudy records. The RPIs are weird. I mean, it's been a strange year, frankly, in college baseball. But we have a microscope on the SEC, so it's been a strange year in the SEC. I mean, I was talking to Ole Neal this yesterday. We were just having a quick phone conversation. We were kind of having a press box talk about, who is the second team that you would predict to be in Omaha if another one gets there. And everybody is so flawed, it's hard to come up with a significant number 2 that you love to get to the College World Series out of the league.
I don't have one.
Now, again, the whole country is like this, so 8 teams have to go. Somebody's going to get hot and do something.
I'm just saying.
But there's no big favorite. We go, oh, yeah, absolutely. I love how they set up.
I've watched a lot this year. Tennessee is obviously far and away the best team in the league. And then after that, it's just I referred to it as kind of a mushy middle class. There's a bunch of teams in that. There's not a lot of difference between LSU and Florida, for example. They're just kind of there.
I mean, I probably like
Frankly,
Florida a little better, but
frankly, I like a lot of the teams below A&M and Arkansas more than I like A&M and Arkansas. I don't think A&M has enough pitching to make a postseason run. I just don't think Arkansas is very good. I've said that for weeks.
Then I look at Auburn and go, how? Like the line, the Butcher's done a hell of a job.
They have some top line guys.
Yeah.
Like they have Gonzalez is a really good pitcher.
Yeah.
They have the
Nisa Sherris hit the hell out of the baseball.
He's player of the year.
Yeah.
He's a threat every time up. So his presence in the lineup impacts the rest of the lineup a little bit. People don't want to pitch to him. And that lets other guys have opportunities, and they've taken advantage of it. And they're pretty solid defensively. They're good. I mean, Auburn's good. But I don't think they're Omaha good. Frankly, LSU's the team that might, just because of their sheer offensive prowess, maybe. If you told me a second team got there, I think I'd say it's LSU.
Yeah. But you're counting on Hilliard to win a game. And
money
to throw
the pitching's not good. I mean, would just be sheer offense.
They can hit.
But they can do it offensively. You saw that this weekend.
So
probably wouldn't be Vanderbilt. They just can't do it for whatever reason. We talked about this with Ole Miss. If you told me it was Ole Miss, I'd go, huh. But I wouldn't be shocked. Ole Miss's deal, though, is this.
It's got to be so clean.
Picture a path down a mountain.
Yeah.
There are no guardrails.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really narrow.
It's steep and curvy, and it's one lane.
And if you take your eye off for just a second,
it's over.
You're off the cliff, yeah. And Ole Miss's path is win on a Friday.
And on a Saturday with Elliott.
And without burning too much of your bullpen. And then on Sunday, you out-hit somebody. Yeah. And you avoid Monday at all cost. Because I don't think they have enough.
The odd part of that is that their path to Monday making any sense would be that since McDaniel would have to start that game, it would keep Mike from using him in a bad situation out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Because I know I've got to ask here, there's been a lot of gnashing of teeth over the weekend. Why hasn't Diamond improved? Why hasn't McDaniel improved? I still think Derek's hurt to some extent, frankly. I'm not putting that on development. Derek was really damn good in early 2020 prior to whatever happened. And that his start against Texas is like this outlier that just sticks out, and you go, "Wow, that one week, that was crazy." With McDaniel, he just hasn't been able to get over things mentally. Ole Miss thought that he kind of had. He had the really good week against Southern Miss. He had the good week against Mississippi State. He's absolutely a starter, not a reliever. He does not do well with coming in with guys on base. I mean, that was Mike's fault on Saturday because you were not even using him in the right situation.
It's stubborn.
And then allowing him to sit there when you know that is the deal with Drew. I mean, again, that's not on Drew. I mean, it's. I know somebody goes, "Hey, it's an excuse." No, it's an excuse. He's a decent starting pitcher. He is not a relief pitcher. Should he be better? Is the stuff better? Yes, but mentally he's not been able to consistently do it. Right, wrong, and different. I don't know why. I don't know if that's a psychologist thing. I don't know if it's a pitching coach thing. I don't know if it's a head coach thing. I don't know, but. You have a lane to use Drew McDaniel where I think he can be very effective, and that was not it on Saturday. So those are two different guys. Diamond and McDaniel are not really the same case to me either way. But
I'll even go one further.
Yeah, sure.
If I won on Tuesday,
mm-hmm.
I'd start McDaniel on Wednesday.
Oh, I would too. Yeah.
I'd save Elliott for Thursday. Let him have an extra day.
Just keep a freshman who's thrown a lot closer to schedule.
Hell, I might even hold him till Friday, and if I don't get there, I don't get there.
He can go a bullpen in Oxford and be fine.
Yeah.
So a sim game.
Yeah. But I absolutely throw McDaniel on Wednesday and go, hey, dude, If we get beat, we get beat.
Yeah.
They're number one in the country. Screw it.
Try to throw some fly balls and we'll see what happens.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. The ball jumps out of Hoover more now than it did 5, 6, 7 years ago, which the ball's livelier. I was talking to Kendall about that kind of over text the other day. There was some balls hit out over the weekend in Oxford, and I get the wind was blowing out to left, but they were not well struck, and it just carries and carries and carries and carries and carries. So, all right, we'll talk about a little more baseball here in a second. First, about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. All underwriting and processing is done in Memphis, so you can look underwriting and understand your market. Leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
We're brought to you by Holcomb Portable Buildings, 7991 Highway 7 South in Holcomb, Mississippi. They custom build your building to your specifications. However you want your carport, storage shed, barn, hunting cabin, she shed, doghouse, or other building, Holcomb Portable Buildings can accommodate you. You pick the color, the style, the windows, and the doors, and Holcomb makes it happen. In-house financing is available, and there's free delivery and setup within 75 miles of Holcomb. For more information, call 662-226-2233 or go to holcombbuildings.com. You can also find them on Facebook or Instagram at Holcomb Portable Buildings. Hey, Rebel Grove, did you know that Dead Soxy makes custom socks? Look, whether you're rallying your team or building an empire, where you put your logo matters, and you can't afford to put it on half-rate swag. Dead Soxy will help you create premium custom socks that you can stake your reputation on. Cool custom socks will make a lasting impression on clients, investors, employees, and donors. You don't have to have design skills. They do it all. Design's always free. They'll create digital mock-ups of designs, present them to you before your orders are placed. It's the same premium retail quality sock they're known for, but these are designed for you with your logo. The minimum order is 120 pairs of the same style. Lead time is 6 to 8 weeks. So get your project started now. Go to deadsoxy.com/custom to check out what they do with custom socks. Mention you heard the ad on the MPW Digital Podcast or at Rebel Grove. You'll get $100 off all custom orders now. deadsoxy.com/custom. My 10 weekend thoughts are up at rebelgrove.com. They're brought to you by Game Changer Patches, the only 2-patch system available in the market to stop hangovers before they start. The warm-up patch is used before or while you drink. The overtime patch is used after you've been drinking to recover while you sleep. The all-natural ingredients will keep you in the game, ready for the next play. So go to GameChangerPatch.com, promo code RebelGrove20 at checkout for 20% off your purchase. Also brought to you by ACS, Automation and Control Systems, LLC. It's a complete electrical control system solution provider and a Rockwell-recognized system integrator based in Baldwin, Mississippi. They've got a full-time dedicated emergency service and troubleshooting staff and a UL 508A panel shop. They can custom tailor software packages, custom design electrical control panel solutions, and much, much more. To learn more, go to acsllcms.com or call 662-601-4381. Also brought to you by Lammons Fine Jewelry at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. They've been serving the Oxford area for more than 75 years. Engagement rings, wedding rings, fine jewelry, watches, pearls, fashion jewelry, children's jewelry, collectibles, and more. Lammons is the gold standard in fine jewelry. Visit them at lammonsfinejewelry.com or call them at 662-234-2777.
Podcast is brought to you by Johnston Hill Creamery, johnstonhillcreamery.com. That's 662-419-9201. Or email cheese@johnstonhillcreamery.com. Go to their Instagram page. Tons of different things. They give you pictures of all their items, their new items, their new cheeses, their new creations, everything they have going there online at Johnston Hill Creamery. Remember, they have a new lunch menu out. You can get that delivered via fetched delivery here in Oxford. So see that as well. And again, small batch artisanal cheese made locally in-house every day just off Molly Bar on White Oak Lane. 662-419-9201. It's the way it is every year, and I'll give them credit for moving the game times back to 9:30. But there is just no buffer built in. These games have to go 3 hours to stay on time, and there is no chance in hell SEC baseball games are going 3 hours.
It's Texas A&M in the tournament.
They are in the tournament. Good God. I got stopwatch happy on Friday or Saturday and started timing the amount of time between a pitch and the A&M batter getting back into the box, and there were several times it was going 25, 26 seconds between. That's on the umpire to get his ass in the box.
It's absolutely on the umpire.
Come on. No, point in the pitcher and go. No, pitch.
Let's go. Pitch.
Yeah,
and then it's up to the pitcher to go, okay, here it is.
And that's what got the skirmish going the other day.
But baseball etiquette and stuff doesn't support that.
Yeah. John Gaddis is out 2 more games, so he is not available for Ole Miss today, tomorrow, or hypothetically Wednesday. If Ole Miss loses tomorrow and gets into the NCAA tournament, he would also be out for the first game of a regional in that. So that was the problem with what happened the other day is, frankly, Ole Miss doesn't have a lot of left-handers. So Gaddis is important in that way. Although it was several times with A&M's pretty strong left-handed lineup to go to Kimbrell on Saturday, and just that was not an option that Mike had gone to. You know, I talked to different people, and I mean, we know the score. We know that Mike's tenure is what it is at the moment. And I've had some media members, had some fans. Saturday had a weird feel to it. Saturday had a watching a guy's last game feel to it, in a way that, you know, look, no decision has been announced yet, but there was like a nostalgia with people. They were kind of going, you know, he's been here a long time. It's whatever. They were kind of like everybody seemed to be almost like taking it in, almost like a senior takes it in on his last game a little bit. It was, I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily felt it. There was a couple times where I went, yeah, this could be this is whatever. I mean, for me, it's been 17 years. But it was and maybe it was something I was projecting, but I don't think so because, like I said, I've heard it from a lot of different people kind of having the same thought. There seemed to be almost a different energy around the place where it was a sentimentality on Saturday. As mad as everybody was and as mad as that 4th inning, and it was a little bit of, oh, see, that's one way to finish and all the snarky stuff. But I don't know. The game Saturday had a lot of good energy early, and then it went dead after those 2 home runs by A&M there in the 4th. It was a long game. It was a long weekend, but people kind of took it that extra second a little bit, knowing that was potentially the end for Mike on Saturday as far as games at Swayze Field. Because I had Richard Cross ask me on Saturday night. He was like, "How many games do you think you've covered in person for Mike?" And I was like, I came up with somewhere around 700 was probably what I thought, somewhere in there. Because he thought he was closer to 900 or 1,000 because he did radio for 3 years every single game. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't to the point of people were like grabbing dirt or anything. I mean, I don't think it's that, but it was a different feel. It was something more than just last game. It was something more than just a game that Ole Miss needed they didn't get. It had a fun finality in the air in a way on Saturday.
Was he any different?
I did not notice anything from that standpoint. He was not in a very good mood. Now, he wasn't the Mike of 5 or 8 years ago. If he was in the mood I think he was in, would have been a little antagonistic from a, not yelling at anybody, but, you know, kind of snarky in a more aggressive way. I thought he was kind of passive. He made some remarks that if you read the transcript, like he told, I think it was Michael Katz, basically told him it was a bad question that he asked. And look, he wasn't wrong, and that's not at Katz. It's this thing that media and coaches do, and it's a dance a little bit where I just need a quote. I know the answer. You know that I know the answer, but I just need you to say it. And Mike's never been great at just saying it. A lot of times he tries to think through angles and things to answers of questions, and it was a lot of questions about, you know, do you like where you're at headed into the postseason? Do you think you're a postseason team? Do you think you're playing your best baseball right now? A lot of those just random soundbite things that get asked at the end of a year. And Mike's actual answers were honest. He goes, well, sure, but 2 things. A, what coach has ever said, no, their team's not an NCAA tournament team? And B, it doesn't really matter what I think or you think. It matters what 10 people in Indianapolis think. Which is a completely accurate answer, while at the same time he knows we just need the freaking quote where he goes, yeah, we love blah, 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 our resume, blah, 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 blah. So it's this dance because in some ways I kind of go, I get it.
Kind of siding with Mike here.
And again, he's 5 minutes after a crap game. He's not in a great mood. I mean,
you know his resume. Write it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to tell you his resume. You know who they beat, who they didn't beat. I'm kind of with him the more that I hear about it and think about it.
And then it almost kind of became a game. Like, it was a couple times where I'm like, okay, can we just get out of here? Because we're not, like, we've covered everything. Like, I've asked about Diamond, I've asked about McDaniel, we've asked whatever. Like, let's move on with the day a little bit.
Someone could have said, do you think today was your last game to coach at Swayze? That would have been fun.
Thanks, I'm good. Well, again, Mike's credit, it's not my decision. I don't know. I'm just coaching until I'm told I'm not coaching anymore. Okay. It's like Andy. I mean, it wasn't Andy's call. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, ask Keith. I mean, like, I don't, what do you want to do? It was a weird press conference. It was a really, really strange press conference. Because, like, he was ready to go, and the questions wouldn't stop, and they were all kind of weird. So it just went on. It was like a 9-minute conference.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, it was on and on and on and on and on. Because we went to walk off, and then one of the media members goes, "Hey, Mike, let me just ask you something off the record for a minute." I'm like, "Oh, God, let me just let this man get off this field right now." Like, because it was like, "Hey, do you think this start by DeCasey last year was the best?" I was like, "Well, what are we doing right now? Like, why are we asking that?" Like, I'm losing my mind a little bit. Because I looked at him, I'm like, I know you're not announcing today, but I'm assuming after 50-something pitches, DeLucia is available on Tuesday. And, like, it's me going, I just need you to say it. Obviously, we all know DeLucia's throwing, but you're obviously not going to announce that right now. And he just kind of looked over and grinned and goes, that's a good assumption. Fair enough. Like, again, you know what? We're just playing a game at this point. That is what we're doing right now.
But there are people in our field who don't understand the game. They truly don't. Sure. They don't get it. In football, they keep asking questions. It's almost like, hey, this needs to last longer. I'm going to ask Lane a personnel question, even though I know that he's not going to answer the personnel question.
A long, rambling question makes me more uncomfortable than a snarky answer.
Yes.
I get anxiety as questions are being uttered where I'm almost like, oh.
You know the one that I hate? It's something where, Lane, you came here from FAU. He's like, really? I did? Lane, you were once the offensive coordinator in Alabama. I was? I mean, why do you feel compelled to say that?
The version on that on Saturday was, and we were deep into the interview at this point, and somebody goes, Mike, I mean, I know today notwithstanding, you swept Missouri, you swept LSU, and you got one in Hattiesburg, and, you got the Governor's Cup win over State, and I'm like, okay, he's aware of the resume. Just
he was at all of those games.
Except one.
But he saw it.
Yeah, I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? So it was fine. I mean, I think Mike, here's the truth. I think Mike is aware of social media and is aware of video cameras. So his snark now versus 10 years ago is completely different. He's not going to undress somebody.
You can tell I don't read anybody else's stuff. Are people standing there holding cameras every time?
There's typically a camera on him. Yes, not always, but yeah. There's
Ole Miss does not take a camera.
No. It's just media holding phones or whatever up. But yeah, there is typically that. But there is definitely a change once that became more prominent versus just recorders, and it was a little bit of a war zone after most games. It is not the case anymore. And look, here's the deal too, and it's just the reality of, frankly, journalism. Mike's not going to yell at anybody he doesn't know. He's not really going to get snarky with anybody he doesn't know. And it's been a carousel in a lot of ways. I mean, Nick Suss is the second longest tenured beat writer on the Ole Miss baseball beat right now.
Is that right?
And Suss has been there 3 years, maybe 4.
Yeah, something like that.
18 or 19 was his first year. He was in Fayetteville with me in 19, so I'm assuming 18 was his first year.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's some of it, too, I'm not going to embarrass the guy, but, there was one guy that covers the team a lot that Mike asked me what his name was, in mid-April.
Yeah.
And it's just the difference, too, of, we always talked about baseball used to be so accessible. We don't have a lot of midweek interview sessions anymore. We don't do a lot of that, so it's changed the dynamic of just kind of hanging out and talking to people. You've lost some of the human element.
That's across the board in college sports.
Yeah, that's everything. That's not.
It's why so many of the young people that are getting in, they quickly figure it out and they desperately try to get a professional beat.
To get that type of.
Well, it's not about access. It's about being able to develop relationships to the point where you can tell stories. That's gone now. Certainly at the college level. I mean, it's almost impossible.
The Ferris Award is today at like 11 or 11:30, and Jackson, Ole Miss is headed, or at least Mike Bianco and Tim Elko are headed down there for that, and they will head to Hoover for the practice. That's 3:20 today, something like that. And in Hoover, the finalists for the Ferris Award, which is the top amateur player in Mississippi, are State's R.J. Yeager, Ole Miss's Tim Elko, Southern Miss's Tanner Hall, Delta State's Harrison Haley, and Belhaven's Brett Sanchez. Those are your 5 finalists.
Sanchez.
Those are your.
He's a star. Who's going to win it? Is the kid at Southern Miss really good?
I would assume Elko or the Southern Miss kid wins it. Yeah, either one.
You surprised it's Elko and not Gonzalez? I mean, Jacob's the better player.
Jacob's the better player. Jacob's been hot as hell lately. I mean, frankly, I saw this on the board. I haven't done the math. His BABIP is like 243 this year.
Batting average for balls in play.
And it's low. It means he's unlucky. Sorry,
right.
Yeah, for people. If that's under 300, that means he's unlucky. Yeah, that's going to fly over some heads. Sorry. Last year it was like 360, which is probably in college about right. That's probably borderline average. So point being, I wouldn't hold Jacob Gonzalez's lower batting average this season against him. If he hits like 389 next year, you'll go, no, he's the same player. It's just the way small sample sizes worked out over time. He's a stud. No, he's the better player, and defensively, he's been really good in league play. He kind of fixed some of the early stuff. Frankly, I think he just doesn't field well in cold weather. I think the temperature came up and he plays better defense. So he's a better player, but I think Elko got a little bit of a lifetime achievement award today, which is fine. I mean, I have no issue with that. I don't think Gonzalez is.
No, I don't.
I don't think the guy from California is going. I really grew up wanting the Ferris Award.
You think Gonzalez, if you put a gun to his head right now, no one could help him, could tell you the name of the award?
Or who Boo Ferris was?
Oh, I know he couldn't tell you that. Do you think he could tell you the name of the award?
They said, hey, that thing Elko's going to today, that luncheon.
What is that award? What is it about? Do you think he could tell you?
You don't think he can tell you what it is?
My guess is that he would have no idea.
Even if he didn't know the name, you don't think he knows that's the best player in the state?
My guess is no.
Okay.
And that's not a knock on him, by the way. It's just I don't think he would think about it.
Well, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's not something that gets in your psyche from that point.
Do they play tight tomorrow?
They typically don't in Hoover.
No, they typically don't. These are actually two teams that typically don't play tight in Hoover and typically do well in Hoover.
Vanderbilt's name across their chest is more scary than their actual team right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that was not the draw. I mean, out of the options, you would much rather have played a leaking oil Georgia team that doesn't have much pitching and threw Cannon on like Saturday than you would this.
Sure.
This was the worst draw out of the possible draws for Ole Miss in a must-win Tuesday game because Vanderbilt can just out-talent you one day if they decide to play ball.
Yeah.
And the middle of that order is kind of scary. I mean, Bradfield and the Jones kids had a good year. And
the Jones kid's the one I was telling you about. He's a stud.
I mean, they've got some stuff there that's pretty good. So
that kid looks like a major league player.
It's still a tall task. Let's not mistake that. Even though this is not the normal Vanderbilt that you're used to seeing. I mean, they're going to, like Neal said, I think he's right. They're going to be a 2 seed somewhere. And I mean, they very well can make a run, but they have been inconsistent.
I wouldn't want them to be the 2 seed in my regional.
No, because it's up to them. That's the problem. Is it's really not up to you. If they play to their capability, they're going to beat you.
Yeah, because they have more talent than you.
Yeah, you're just hoping they stay in this shell of whatever it is that they.
Yeah.
I guess Corbin railed him on Saturday. I guess he yelled and screamed and.
Probably. He's probably frustrated.
He doesn't seem like a kind, gentle soul after losses.
It's the equivalent of a Calipari team that they just never can get it together, and yet
we've seen that
look like $1 gazillion in warm-ups.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. So,
yeah.
Whatever. We'll move to some football in a second. We'll tell you about Northeast Spark, NESPARC. Service people across rural communities. 2 packages, the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford Studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's nespark.com. 662-238-3159. Phone service parental controls, network security, and more. So contact their office for details and get, the best internet in Lafayette County. That's 662-238-3159.
We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products, same great services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. College Corner is your one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area. In Ridgeland, it's next to Fleet Feet. In Flowood, it's next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, it's okay. Go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Largest selection of Rebel gear in Central Mississippi. We're brought to you by Pinnacle. Pinnacle's based in Madison, Mississippi. They've got clients in more than 20 states, advisors in multiple states as well. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and so much more. At Pinnacle, investing is treated like a commodity, and decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. It's mypinwealth.com, MYPINN wealth.com. John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis is the guy to go to if you need to create a special trip that creates a lifetime of unique memories. Just get in touch with him, give him some parameters, give him a budget for your vacation, and he will come up with options that you will not come up with on your own. And no, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Brought to you by OPA, Oxford's newest restaurant on the square. Gyros, wraps, kebabs, redfish, lamb chops, handcrafted cocktails, frozen libations, an amazing candlelit patio, and more, all at 306 South Lamar, just south of the Square Courthouse in Oxford. And we're brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. I'll have a mailbag up on Wednesday at some point. It'll be brought to you by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all of your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes, and you can reach her at 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844.
Podcast is brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They're on South Lamar in Oxford, or on the square in Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs. They can switch over your services from a big box pharmacy. All you do is give them a call. They handle the rest. Literally one call, and you have what you need with your local community pharmacy there with G&M or Tyson Drugs. Again, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer MedSync, free prescriptions same day each month, and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. Have what you need when you need it with G&M. So again, one more time, 662-236-2222. You understood, if nothing else, why Greg Sankey put a gag order on his football coaches last week amidst all the chaos.
Sure. Yeah. Lane Kiffin was going to go on Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick was going to ask him questions about Saban and Fisher, and Lane was probably going to be funny and throw out jabs. Those jabs.
Sarcasm, if nothing else. Yes.
Sarcasm, sure.
Yeah.
Those were going to be, because media love to aggregate Lane Kiffin, those were going to create headlines. And if Lane said just one thing that could be misinterpreted, it could have gotten it going again. I don't think, based on what I've heard, that Sankey had any idea that Jimbo Fisher was going to go scorched earth.
You think he would have stopped it pre that had he known that?
I do. I think he was frustrated with Saban. I think he thought Jimbo was just going to defend himself.
That's what he did last time,
and
sort of.
And Jimbo,
he was at least careful last time.
He was angry last time, but he was careful.
Was not careful.
He didn't really call out Lane specifically the last time. This time he went scorched earth on Nick Saban and created a lot of angst. I mean, you had Lane Kiffin, Eli Drinkwitz. I'm thinking of people I know for sure did it. Steve Spurrier, Hunter Yurachek, all do some semblance of the popcorn thing.
That's true.
none of those tweets made Greg Sankey happy, I'm guessing. And it is his job right now to not let this thing dissolve into – because here's why you –
The bad PR, though, is you let the two people have at it and then got mad at everybody else for rubbernecking.
But I don't think he got mad. I think he was like, hey, let's cool this.
Well, yeah, sure. But I guess my point is that's where the consequence came in.
Yeah, but
and it's more complicated than that, I know.
I'm not taking his side here because I'm in the media. I want everyone to go after everyone.
Sure.
But if I'm in his shoes, what I don't want is this. Lane gets on the Dan Patrick show, which everyone listens to. This isn't Lane going on our show or something.
No, this one was getting.
It's going to get.
And at that time slot right after that, I mean, we're in. Like, let's keep this
views,
train rolling.
Going to get views, going to get listens. Media is going to be on it. It's going to get aggregated.
Sure.
Lane says something that is incendiary.
Whatever that looks like.
And then someone like Jimbo at this point, who's just thoroughly pissed, goes, all right, you know what? Let me tell you about the kid that they recruited. Because here's what they gave X. Wasn't NIL, what they gave him. And then someone goes, all right, that's it. Let me tell you what you did. And then now, you know what you have? You have the Southwest Conference. And that's what Sankey's job is to prevent. So I think and again, I'm not defending Greg Sankey, but I'm sure what he's trying to do is to get everybody to Destin so that he can close the door. And he can say, so let's talk about this. We're the most powerful league in the country. You guys are about to enjoy massive payments. Frankly, everyone wants to join our league right now. We control this bitch. Now, can we be big boys or are we going to blow it up ourselves? Because if you hand them the ammunition, they're going to come get somebody. So how do y'all want to do this? And then I think it's going to be like that SEC Shorts thing where he looks at Jimbo and he looks at Nick and he's like, kiss and make up, damn it.
Not another word.
Yeah, you can hate each other, but publicly we're not doing this. This is not what we're going to do. There's too much at stake. And I think what he would probably say to Lane is, look, even I laughed at what you said, but we've got to present a corporate front. This thing can blow up, and we don't need it to blow up right now. There's a lot of money on the line. So, frankly, I don't blame him. It was from a corporate communication thing. If you're hand-raised guy in the back of the room, you're probably at the SEC office, you're probably like, hey, we don't need coaches on radio shows right now.
I did love the conference giving out, as Papa V says, the numbers in the code of what they were breaking to get their reprimand.
Yeah.
10-2-3 and 10-5-2 related to the ethical conduct inside the institution.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what's he going to do? I mean, if he's going to have any teeth, you're both suspended from your first conference game. He's not going to do that. Yet.
Wasn't that important
yet. Now, he might tell him in Destin, we're not doing this shit anymore.
Jimbo 100% that pissed in that reel or playing a character to an extent?
I'm told.
You thought he was that pissed?
I'm told from people who know him that he was genuinely that pissed.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Because, see, I thought the other one on signing day was a little bit of a pandering thing.
I thought so, too. This one was I'm pissed off. I'm calling a press conference and no one can stop me.
I want to in like 12 minutes.
And then I think it was...
I mean, unless they were given a tip, the media wouldn't have even time to get in there.
Here's how I think. I don't think anybody there, had they known he was going to say that, would have let him go say that. I think they would have been like, hey, coach.
Even the school?
Yeah. Coach.
Because it made for quite the video clips in front of the A&M logo behind him.
Oh, yeah. I think they would have been like, hey, coach, defend the program, but take a minute. I mean, instead he was like, oh, there's the fire. Here's the gasoline.
Thinks he's God and the czar of college football.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw that coming.
That was a tad pointed.
And so I think after that happened and it became the national story, everybody hit it. I think Sankey said we needed to hit a timeout.
Just get us to Destin, for the love of God.
Well,
get to next week.
Everybody shut up for a little bit.
They arrive on Sunday or Monday, by the way, to people in Destin. That is next week.
Yeah.
You get Hoover this week, and you get Destin next week. That is their next 2 weeks.
I'm going to tell you, there's a cold front coming to Destin. If you're planning to be out on the beach, you feel some cold air. It came out of Texas. Icy.
You don't think it's going to be a big pool party at the Sandestin like usual when they all hanging out and having the big?
I think some. I'd be curious to see how the seating arrangement is made.
I would like to know a seating arrangement. I'll be honest. I would like to know the room and the way this thing sets up.
That's going to be my objective, is to try to find out, hey, who got put where? Who was sitting next to who? Something tells me there's going to be some buffers. It's going to be like
Mark Stoops right there next to Saban. That sounds good.
All right, we're going to put Mark here.
Shane Beamer. You don't cause any problems.
Let's put the guys that never cause any problems. That just sort of Sam, come sit right here.
Yeah.
Clark. Hey, Clark. Buddy.
You're good for something this time. It's all good.
Lane's the type to walk in passing out popcorn.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what this looks like? It does make Media Day at least compelling because it's not going to be over by then from a front of mind standpoint.
No. Well, I mean, we talked about this. It works out perfectly for the Media Days because you get Sankey on Monday and you get Kiffin on Monday. And Kiffin's going to get asked about it on that day. And if he takes the bait, and he usually does, he will create content that will get asked of Jimbo and Nick and whoever else. Anyone that's got a tie to Saban's going to get asked about it. And hell, that's half the league.
Obviously, this is the most entertaining thing, but what otherwise, from a business standpoint, what do you feel like Destin's about this year?
Well, NIL, this scholarship thing.
The scholarship thing is it real? What do we do with Title IX? Can we afford it? What does it look like?
Frankly, the most interesting meetings, if you could just sit in on them, you think it's the football coaches, but it's not. It's the presidents.
Yeah.
It's the presidents.
Presidents and ADs are by far more interesting than
this year. It's the presidents.
Yeah,
the really big picture stuff about what are we doing? Like, where's this headed? Is this headed to a place where they become employees and it's no longer a part of the educational model and you basically just lease your name? And they're just a team of essentially professional players that wear college uniforms? Do they sign contracts?
Almost like a sponsored something.
Yeah. Is that where this is? I mean, I don't mean like in the next 3 or 4 years, but is that where this is headed? Or is this going to reverse course and go back closer to what it once was? I don't really think that's possible, but I kind of wonder. That would be the meet. If I could just sit in a room and listen to a meeting, that would be the one I'd want to listen to. I mean, it'd be full of bluster and my God, but that's what I'd like to hear. I'd be curious, what do you think? Where's this going?
Is your gut that scholarships at the other sports are removed by this time next year?
What do you mean? Scholarship limits?
Yes, correct.
Oh, I don't know.
They're removing them from football for 2 years, but that's not an across-the-board move at this point.
I don't know. I kind of doubt it.
There's so many complications.
There's so much to that where someone's got to sit down and go, are we creating financial issues for ourselves here? And this football thing is going to be raw chaos.
But not sign as many as you want as long as you don't go over the 85.
Yeah, you have 85. I mean, it's going to mean the number of kids basically getting processed.
Because if there's a better player, you just cut and add.
Yeah, you can't help us buy.
Because there's no penalty anymore for going over or under your number.
And apparently the APR issue is not really something to worry about.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure about, those hidden things.
And apparently if you're just kind of roughly on pace to graduate, doesn't hurt you.
Are we set now pretty much? Did you believe pretty wholeheartedly it's 2024 before we get Texas and Oklahoma?
Yeah, I don't think they're coming in 2023 at this point. It'd be hard. So, I mean, there's some people think it's going to be 2025, but they're just going to ride it out.
And we're gonna have a Big 12 with all the new teams and the old teams.
Yeah, that last year in the Big 12 will be miserable for everyone involved.
Texas gritting its teeth because, frankly, Oklahoma can't afford the grant and rights out in a way.
Well, you're telling Texas,
and Texas goes, hey, home game, Central Florida.
Yeah,
Big
or
12
worse,
conference.
you have to go play there. Yeah. Hey, you get Cincinnati at home, and you get to go to UCF. Who else is coming in?
It's BYU and Houston.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be the worst for Texas. Hey, you got to go play at Houston. That's a slap in the face.
In a conference game.
Yeah.
They let them chant Big 12 at you and when they beat you.
Right. That would suck.
But they lost to Kansas. It can't get worse.
Well, that's true.
You surprised Kansas didn't try to find a home?
They did try to find a home.
As hard as they could have?
Yeah. I mean,
Big Ten decided no go?
Big Ten didn't want them. Pac-12 didn't want them. Apparently the SEC didn't want them.
Surprise you?
SEC may should have thought about it. They kind of need another bad team.
Oh, and you get the basketball.
Yeah, you get the basketball for sure.
Another bad team doesn't hurt anything. Somebody's got to suck. Vanderbilt serves a purpose in this league.
Of course. Right now, of the 14 programs, Vanderbilt's the only one that sucks.
I mean, Clark Lee, look, he's not getting the headlines, but he's got a purpose right now.
But look at the rest of it. Pick another team and go, they suck. The closest thing is Missouri, and they went to a bowl last year.
Yeah, they try.
Other than that, I mean,
they signed like the number one wide receiver in the country.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, look at the rest of the league and tell me who sucks. Good luck. The answer's nobody. It's a tough league. You know who's 1, and you know who's 2, and you know who's 14. 3 through 13 is kind of up for grabs. Certainly some teams are better positioned than others, but you could have arguments about, who do you put in front? Tennessee, Kentucky, Ole Miss, LSU. Where does Auburn stand? I mean, there's a lot there. Yeah, you could have used another crappy team in football.
Because they're not going to get substantially better. I do think Leopold's a good coach.
Yeah, he's good. Apparently, it's a very difficult place to get it done.
Well, yeah.
But I'm sure they would have loved to have joined the SEC.
Well, anywhere, because there's stability.
Yeah, and they would help the basketball product.
Yeah, like somebody said they should become Villanova. No, you're still making your money in football. You need the paychecks from the major conference in football, no matter what it looks like.
You need the TV checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no benefit to going down.
No.
I mean, you're hurt all the way across the board. That's nothing but negatives in a lot of ways at that point if you do that. So no, you don't do that. North Carolina has always been the really intriguing one. If you got to just pick and choose, and
North Carolina's the one the SEC wants.
Yeah, if you could just really go grab whomever,
that's who they want.
That's the one that makes sense.
That's the top of the line. North Carolina makes a ton of sense in the SEC if it ever happened. It makes so much sense in the same way that Texas and Oklahoma do. Your basketball product, it's got built-in rivalries right off the bat with South Carolina, with Tennessee. I mean, it makes so much sense that it's almost certainly going to happen down the road. I don't know when.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, I'm on record.
Is what Sankey said a clue, or is it just whenever that time is, we will go to 16 and remove divisions?
Just whenever that time is.
There's no rush.
No. I mean,
there will be seasons played at 14.
At 16, you mean?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, who knows what happens with the Pac-12 grant of rights and their TV contract ends at the same time. I mean,
frankly, it's bad lawyering.
I mean, yeah,
because you're allowing too many exit.
They're free agents.
Abilities there.
There's no punishment. They're free to go.
Cron asking, is the SEC willing to buy out an ACC team from their grant of rights? It doesn't expire until 2036.
Yeah, it would not be the SEC doing it. It would be would Disney be willing to do it? Would that make enough on the contract? Would those teams?
Because, I mean, the SEC is not telling Oklahoma, yeah, we'll go ahead and help you right now and get you in quicker. No. They're making Oklahoma pay that check on whatever that is. It's like 70-something million.
Yeah, it goes down each year, but it's like 70-something. Apparently Oklahoma feels like it just doesn't have it. We need to I'll get Murdoch back on sometime soon. Talk about what's going on.
He's going out to Oklahoma City to cover softball next week. See?
Probably.
Really? I mean, it's close, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's 20 minutes.
I didn't really think, never mind. Bad example. I saw Kubelik tweeting about it for some reason last night. Their softball team is 52-2 on the season.
Oklahoma's?
Yeah. And they've outscored people like 550 to 130 or something. I mean, it's insane. They have 3 pitchers with ERAs under 1. They're the favorite. Ole Miss's softball season ending in L.A. yesterday. UCLA beating them in the regional final out there. I don't know who UCLA plays now, but the Rebels lost to Loyola Marymount, came back, beat Grand Canyon, beat Loyola Marymount, and then lost to UCLA. So that was the path there for the I guess the 2-seed Rebels in that one. So anyway. Podcast brought to you in part by Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. Ready to eat shrimp delivered straight to your door, restaurant-quality shrimp that you just throw in a pot of boiling water. It's ready in just a few minutes, less than 10 minutes from freezer to plate. Got 5 different flavors, including Simply Shrimp, the garlic herb butter. They're 2 newest. You take the garlic herb butter, put it with pasta, veggies, rice, or makes a shrimp scampi, or paired with a ribeye if you so wish for that. With the Simply Shrimp, doctor it up any way you like. It's a great option for kids if you need to put certain flavors on it for them. So, again, throw it in. Great for lunch, great for dinner, and more. Use code MPW, $20 off your first order with Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com.
We're also brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency. They've been connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. If you're on the job hunt, whether you're seeking an entry-level position or you're a seasoned professional, they have opportunities across the board in all sorts of fields, IT, engineering, dentistry, whatever. They've got it. It's always free for the candidate. All conversations are kept confidential, so you have nothing to lose by giving them a call. Give Will, Sydney, or Kelsey a call at 662-832-5138 or check out their new and improved website, servicespecialistltd.com. We're also brought to you by The Rogue. It's your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylist hand-select pieces from top designers, from work to lifestyle to nightlife. There's the perfect something for everyone at The Rogue. All the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, Duckhead, and more. 4450 I-55 North in Jackson or therogue.com. Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward, chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental is helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. These clear aligners are the virtually invisible way to improve your smile. Call Corinth Dental today for a no-cost digital scan of your teeth. Let them show you the way to a straighter, healthier smile. 12 months, no interest, no down payment, financing available at corinthdental.com. We're brought to you by Bell & Grove. Based out of Chattanooga, Daryl Oliver and Evan Dial built Bell & Grove, a logistics provider with more than 35 years of transportation industry experience. They specialize in domestic freight movement throughout the continental U.S. that can navigate through supply chain issues while also leaning on their partner carriers to get the most competitive rates possible for their customers. In addition, Bell & Grove can help customers design a custom solution for their shipping needs. Whether your business is in need of moving a truckload, a partial shipment, or a flatbed, Bell & Grove can accommodate you. They also provide both air and ground expedited services for customers who need to move product quickly. For more information, call Daryl Oliver at 865-672-6557. Southern Traditions Farm is a 68-acre, 32-stall upscale equestrian training and boarding facility in Canton, Mississippi. 2 sand rings, a grass ring, miles of wooded trails. There's a lot going on at Southern Traditions, including camp season, which begins in a week. It's Monday through Friday camps, 8:30 to 2. Great opportunity for young people this summer. So get in touch with those guys on Facebook or Instagram at Southern Traditions Farm.
So people asking, yeah, it's a bit of a mess. So weather for Alabama this week. Today it's raining right now. They had a big storm come through this morning in Hoover. Kind of stops around noon, it looks like. Then tomorrow, 56% chance of rain tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. That's lovely. And again, 60% chance. Then Wednesday, it goes up to 70. It's pretty much all day. It says early with thunderstorms developing later in the day. Thunderstorms overnight Wednesday night. And on Thursday, 97% chance of thunderstorms with winds at 15 to 20. Chance of rain 100% with local heavy rainfall of inches.
Have fun.
Might not be there by Thursday. Look, what do they do? Well, they play all night. I mean, they delay and then find a window and play. It's miserable. It's just this.
Yes.
It's waiting. It's hide and seek with the weather. Is what
the year that I was over there, that you told me I wouldn't be there but a day, and I was there till Sunday night. There were rain delays. Then after the championship, I rode, and on my way to the car, got just bombarded in a storm. So, enjoy.
I was there the one year they switched it to single elimination after a couple of days because they just got flogged to the point that they had to quit the double elimination part of the bracket, and it just became single elimination from that point.
That field, if I remember right, drains okay?
No, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's not really the problem. It's just in that kind of forecast, there's no window to get 4 games in. It's not one game. You got to play 4.
You got to play all day.
Well, and then Friday becomes the makeup day. So instead of playing 2 games on Friday, you play 4 games on Friday. Saturday, instead of 2 games, you play 4 games. There are windows built into the schedule now because.
And the rest of the week looks okay, right? Once you get past that Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday's the last day. So if you told me the Tuesday game happens Wednesday, oh God, I mean this thing, it can get stupid a little bit. It's the best thing they ever did was to make Saturday single elimination. Because they used to have that day with the 4 games on Saturday where you had to beat the team in your bracket twice. It's like, okay, all these teams are in the tournament. What are we doing? Why are we playing all day long? Just play one game, go to Sunday, play one game, and call it a day. Because Ole Miss did that in 07 and 08 back-to-back. They played 2 games on Saturday both those years. So there's makeup possibilities there. But no, it could get hairy. I mean Neal can go if he wants. I haven't left yet. He does get more wins in Hoover than I do by winning percentage.
I do, but no.
You have titles. I mean, it is one of the crazier stats. There in the last 17 years, I have covered the SEC tournament 15 times, and the 2 years I haven't covered it, they have won the title. I have covered championship games, but they have won the title the 2 years that I have not participated.
Yep.
Georgia says it should be entirely single elimination. They are maxing out tourism revenue is one of the reasons. And frankly, coaches don't want it to be single elimination.
Right, and TV.
Yeah. You're filling windows here in a lot of different ways. But when Wednesday gets there, you're guaranteed fans stay for a couple days, and then you get by the weekend, and it's and then at some point you kind of go, okay, we've had enough, and it is what it is.
Well, then on Monday they can take all the same TV cameras down to Destin, and they get programming down there. All those people come on set, and they interview them. And
yeah, because whatever teams are left on Saturday, typically all the ADs and everybody's in Hoover because they're just on the way to Destin, so they come for the games and to be around, and then they'll move on.
They'll head down to Destin on Saturday. Some of them will head down Saturday.
I know Sankey ended up doing it, but Ross tweeting out that Alabama broke protocol in the league. It's like, oh, stop. Are we really telling? What are we doing?
Ross told a story though.
That Alabama was mean.
Yes.
It didn't come off well PR-wise. Yep. You know that thing where you just stay quiet until the other person starts talking? Yeah. I feel like that's probably a good time for me to just shut up. And stare at you.
You're baiting me, and I didn't take it. I didn't bite. I was the fish, and I realized, you know what? That's not a real
You had a thought?
It's not real. Oh, I've got thoughts.
You mentioned Spurrier earlier. His comment was, did Saban actually say something that wasn't true?
The answer's
asking the question.
Well, kind of he did.
Well, not about other people, about himself, which is Nick's MO.
Yeah. The stuff that also the stuff that he said about the origination of the transfer portal was wrong. It wasn't because they kept getting sued. It was because there was a demand for it, and in the summer of peaceful protest, the NCAA just said, "Here, let's take it all." It was a lot. There was a lot more to that part. The part that was disingenuous about Saban was that those comments came literally at an event where he was there to drum up money for NIL. He didn't.
He was rallying people.
He was rallying his troops. He was doing what he always does. And this time for whatever reason, he got personal. I mean, in fairness to Jimbo, Nick started it. He got personal he singled out A&M. And then he singled out Jackson State.
So
true. It showed you that those two things bothered him.
Singling out Jackson State is interesting because Deion has nothing to lose.
Yes, and I meant to clarify, mostly peaceful.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, you go at Deion and Deion has no...
I mean, some bonfires, but...
Yeah.
You go at Deion, it was dumb.
Like...
Did Deion ever circle back, or did Nick apologize too quickly?
I thought he circled back to something, but it wasn't this just... He didn't throw a flamethrower at it the way I kind of thought was coming.
Yeah.
It seemed like we were about to get...
I thought Sanders was going to really go after him. Because he seemed to set up...
You thought he was ready to go.
Well, I thought he was getting ready to basically accuse Saban of being a racist. Mm-hmm. I thought that was what he set up with his tweet.
Right.
I never saw that follow through.
No.
But dude, you haven't seen Jimbo apologize.
Not a word. He's not going to. He can't PR-wise.
He
can't apologize.
No, I don't think he can. I don't think he wants to.
I mean, I thought that was the one misstep of the whole week is Saban actually apologizing. Just shut up, move on, don't say anything else. But I thought the apology was weird.
Yeah.
You can't say it and go, "Hey, look, I'm sorry." No, you're not. You're just getting told because whether you mean it or not, it just looks like Sankey told you to say, "I'm sorry" and shut up. Which I think is what happened.
You think Sankey said you have to apologize?
I think he at least said, "Hey, can we just smooth this over and shut up?" Yeah.
What about that? But then when you apologize, it looks like you didn't mean it.
I know. I'm saying that was the misstep in this.
And you meant it.
Yeah.
And we're in semantics here. A&M bought their class. Of course A&M bought their class. A&M goes, "Well, we followed state law." Okay. But you used NIL as an incentive.
Yeah, which doesn't follow NCAA law.
And Nick says we don't, which is bullshit.
Yeah. Somebody asked, I mean, we've talked about this 7,000 times, but somebody asked why Hoover, because it sets up perfectly for the league office to be there already. It has tons of RV space, tons of parking lot. It has plenty of restaurants around, and it is perfect for the person coming to the tournament.
Yes, and it also is...
There's tons of media space. It works.
Yes, and for the SEC, all of their personnel can continue to get ready for the meetings
at home.
And they have a lot of their personnel that needs to be at the SEC tournament through about Friday, and then they need to get them down to Destin, and this is just easier than moving it to Memphis. And
going.
And number one is those minor league parks.
The logistics are terrible.
Well, they don't have any space for media. Because they have typically at a minor league game, there's like 2 media.
Yeah, Pearl has 3 seats where a person can see the whole field.
Yeah, so it doesn't work.
And AutoZone's not much better. It's a little better, but not much.
Hoover just makes sense. They should leave it there forever.
Yeah, it's fine. We say that, too, because it's kind of close and easy. But, yeah.
But it's fine.
But it is close and easy to the schools that need it. I mean, Ole Miss, LSU, State, and Arkansas are the people that come to this stupid tournament.
And people who bring RVs. There's RVs for them to stay.
Yeah.
It's fine. There's lots of parking.
It's fine.
It works.
Yeah, I've never believed the bids were actually real over the years.
No, I never even understood.
I thought they had to contractually, but that, hey, Hoover, just send like a sheet of paper over. And
Grind mentions Biloxi. It's the same thing. There's no place for media. There's not. Those minor league parks aren't built that way. You'd have to play it in a major league.
And frankly, they don't want to put it in a spot like that where everybody's going down to one spot. Like it logistically, even travel that doesn't.
I mean, we do live in the Reds media market. They could play it in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark.
They could.
They have press box seating there.
Because the ACC's kind of figured out, hey, it's better in North Carolina than Boston.
Yeah. Where do they play theirs?
Greensboro, North Carolina, or something. Yeah. Something like that. Greenville. Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. So, schedule-wise, we'll have a podcast to you tomorrow, I guess prior to the game since it's 4:30. We'll do something, and then the rest of the week, it is so dependent on game times. You'll get your shows, but I don't know what it looks like or anything else. It really depends wins, losses, times, delays, when they're eliminated, when I'm driving. We'll figure it out, but as of right now, I don't have a lot of answers for exactly what that looks like. I'll get over there today. We'll have some coverage from that, and again, they play, I hope to God, at 4:30 tomorrow, but it could be 5, it could be 6, it could be noon on Wednesday, for all I know at this point. So, hope you have a wonderful day. We will be back with some more shows. Check rebelgrove.com in the meantime, and we'll talk to you very soon.